We didn't clap.
That's okay.
Music.
Honestly, the sound syncs up when we all scream A, so.
Oh.
B!
Welcome to episode 87 of King Leader D&D. And before we drink, let's get a random toast for another natural 20 card.
Whoa. I want to do it.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Your toast has to include the word skeleton.
Skeleton.
Oh, is it because it's Halloween? Ooh.
Cool.
Spooky.
I am confused about all the skeletons in yards these days. Where did they come from? Who was selling these skeletons? And why does everyone have them now, including my parents?
It's Home Depot.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Like the 10-foot
To
ones?
Steven's fear and confusion.
Yay!
You're talking about the 10-foot ones?
No, it's like the opposable ones. I feel like every single skeleton decoration house I see... Let me back up. Every Halloween decorated house I see has a posed skeleton.
Every house with skeletons on it has skeletons.
I think that's always been a thing.
This is important. We'll take a couple of extra seconds for it. A few weeks ago in City Kids, we were going over some things, and we asked the kids after the story from the Bible if they knew what mercy meant. And one of them, it was not yours, one of them said, "Yeah, I know." And we were like, "Okay, bud, what does mercy mean?" And he said, skeletons.
What?
And for that story,
Yeah,
Cassandra, you get a Choco Cream Sandwich Cracker.
Oh!
Anyone else have any
Cassandra.
stories they'd like to share? No, we've got melon butter cracker cookies. Anyone want to?
Definitely not.
Probably Michael.
Eleanor would
Give
have.
that to Michael.
Dang it, we didn't
we've got
translate any of these
another
words,
Reduced to dust
cookie
already.
cream type sandwich situation.
This is strange.
Cream me!
though. Everyone translate it when you get one.
Gummy bear and gummy hands candies.
Not gluten.
Anyone like
Google
candy
that.
No, I
gummies?
want one that you have to like put together or something.
Well, I don't have anything that fancy.
No. What else is there? Is there anything interesting?
We have a. This is not the same. It's Country Ma'am cookie. We got Country
Country
Ma'am
Ma'am.
back.
No, I don't want to.
I'll take whatever's left.
We have a Hello Kitty candy.
Oh!
Ready?
I'll take the gummies then, I guess.
Sorry.
I'm not doing
I
this.
caught it.
Would you like hand or bear?
It doesn't look like a hand, it isn't. It's a fist with a swirl.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
swirls.
I was like,
the shoulder
it's
is the
a
swirl.
snail, I think.
It's
Is it not?
No, it's
definitely
okay.
a hand. I'll give it to you so you can look at
This
that one and I'll eat the
seriously
bear.
looks like something Eleanor would have.
This is chocolate chip
Oh.
cookie cocoa.
It's definitely
It is a hand.
Chocolate chip chicken cocoa.
Two things. One, this is amazing candy from the Dragon's Nest delivery box from this month.
Thank you.
So thank you for all of that. And two, the Natural 20 card was also from the Dragon's Nest delivery website. It's a Nat 20 card. The bearer of the card automatically succeeds one skill check of their choice. So I'm giving that out to now. Steven has one and Sally has one as well, right? From
This
last
is
episode.
purple.
What?
Pretty good.
Whoa.
You
Yeah,
both have a
I
Nat 20 card, and so until I get those back, those will sit with you, and I will not give out anymore. So be sure to use those if you can. I'm gonna eat this bear.
This says, Hello Kitty, I love penny candies because they're tiny and bright.
Yes.
Aww.
Who else was a Hello Kitty fan growing up?
Sally, I don't know if yours
I'm a
is,
big
but my
Baton Rouge
gummies
fan.
are kind of stuck to the
The little
package.
penguin?
I haven't opened it yet because
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying
Have
to
you ever
figure
seen
out
it?
what it says.
I have been to a Hello Kitty cafe though.
There we go.
There you go.
Pretty good. Anyway, blind recap. Let's get all the nonsense out of the way at the front.
Nonsense.
I'm gonna cast this one out. Has anyone
A
seen?
wide net.
What's the movie where? No, I can't give a description of the movie.
The fatal flaw.
Nope, I got this.
That's fun.
Somebody say something engaging.
Googles. What's the movie?
I have a story.
Okay.
One time, we
Yeah.
were all playing Dungeons and Dragons together,
Yes.
on.
and someone said,
Yes, I got it.
"Oh,
Someone said, "Who has not seen The Revenant?"
The what?
The Revenant.
Revenant.
Oh, I
know what it's
haven't
about.
either.
You
I
haven't
read
seen
it
it?
last time.
No.
Okay.
I haven't, and I don't
you'd
even
see
know what it's
that.
I
about.
find that shocking. Actually.
Cassandra and Steven, roll off to see who recaps The Revenant.
What are you
I'm
gonna
just
roll?
Do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
go
you
for
do it. You know it. You haven't seen
Yeah.
You haven't seen
We
it?
can roll.
The
We'll
Revenant?
see.
it? Isn't it the bear one?
I rolled a 50.
I mean,
Highest number
I
does it.
rolled a 19.
Cassandra's on.
Okay. I have been waiting to do this one for a while. From seeing it.
To recap the Revenant.
What?
To recap the Revenant.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
How
This is the
interesting.
screenplay of the Revenant, word for word. It was summer, and it was hot. Rachel was there. A lonely gray couch. Oh, look, cried Ned, and then the kingdom was his forever. The end.
Wow.
Who's Ned?
What happened just now?
I don't know what just happened.
So for like 6 months, I thought that when I have to do a recap again, which I hate doing, that quoting a really funny monologue of Chandler's from Friends would be great. And I wanted to fit it into like some ridiculous movie, and I think The Revenant is about snow, or happens
It
in the
is,
snow.
Yeah.
Wintertime.
So it was summer, it was hot, it was funny, and then now it's just quite fitting as my ode
Yeah.
to Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
So,
Is there an episode of Friends where one of the friends is mauled by a bear?
Cocaine Bear, yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the one with the cocaine bear.
Oh, there you go.
But the line is literally,
They talk about
Rachel
cocaine
was
bear?
there.
Rachel was there.
No.
Wait,
No, bud.
this is very funny.
Jennifer
Tiny
Garner.
baby.
I,
Aniston,
as an
Trevor
additional
Aniston.
toast to this,
who you are named after.
I'm listening.
Your
I raise my
namesake.
can,
Yes.
and we call this episode in his memory Matthew Perished.
Oh.
Oh.
No!
No one toasts that.
I don't
No
know
one
if
toasts
Wait.
that.
That's right.
Wait.
I asked you as
Wait.
my spouse not to make jokes about him dying because
Whoops.
I'm upset about it.
Whoops.
If you were my spouse,
Wait.
it would be fine.
Wait.
But
What?
Actual
No
recap commence.
Oh my gosh.
Well, because at Baxter's house, I thought that's why everyone was avoiding the hot tub.
Wait. Guys, my gummy, the storage method is direct sunlight, high temperature.
Whoa.
What?
They wanted to be super
Huh?
gummy.
Name, candy, storage method, direct sunlight, high temperature.
What?
It's getting smaller and it's a hit.
It's getting smaller.
Whoa, what in the world?
To preserve this candy, cast it into the sun.
destroy it.
The name is Hey guys, but it's getting smaller and it's a hit.
To keep the candy alive,
Wait,
one
the-
must kill the candy.
The translation on this one is even better. This bottom line, it means chocolate cream.
It's in the darkness, it will get too strong.
I can do a recap.
Oh, please do.
Woo!
All right,
It was so long
recap.
ago.
We started off last episode. Felon was down for the count, but DM Dan rolled a nat 20 and brought him back.
Dim Dan.
Pretty cool.
Dum, 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 dum.
And so after that, we were fighting the Guardian as well as the tree. And Thule and Nemo both were dealing damage to the tree and the heart. And eventually, Nemo took it down. But it did not affect the Guardian or the other druids that respond. And then we fought the Guardian. And Thule killed it. And then I rolled a nat 1 and wasn't able to harvest any healing potions. But it was a good fight, and now we're done. Am I missing anything?
Party and
The teleporting? No.
Sharebout
Wasn't too
died
good.
almost again,
Yes,
but he didn't.
he came back.
He came back.
We found a magical sphere on the
Ah,
heart
yes!
of the
dust glass.
A
Oh,
dust
yeah.
glass sphere that Nemo would compare to his dagger.
what is it?
Okay, Thule is, after we've said, like, let's leave, Thule glances back at the stone and then kind of squints her eyes and comes over closer to it, and her face is, like, uncomfortably close to the sphere while it's still in Nemo's hands. Just, like, no social awareness. And she's kind of staring at it, and she's like, and she says, I think I could be wrong about this, but I think that, as I pull up the text message, and she kind of like holds up her hands around it as if she's sensing some kind of magical aura, and she kind of stands back and is still looking at it and says, okay, yeah. And she looks at Nemo and she says, I think, and then she says broadly to the party, I think that you could actually attune to this. I think that...
What?
I think it's an attunable item. And I'm getting the sense that if you attune to it, you would get...
What are you reading?
The prompter of my heart.
Oh, wow.
You would get some kind of resistance to poison. And she like closes her eyes and is kind of still sensing. And she says, also an enhanced sense of nature.
Well, she can't be reading. Her eyes are closed.
Right. Clearly, she is
The
not
mystery.
reading.
And then glances down. Also, there's some kind of healing power within it. I can't tell if that would be an ability that you would get or not. Maybe I can pray about it some more to the DM god. And lastly, a deeper connection to dragons. So Tuli steps back and goes, "This is pretty powerful."
And you all do, more specifically, Tuli, but everyone as she's kind of reading this. Definitely one of the most complex magical items that y'all have ever come across. That there's many layers and a lot of potency to what this stone can do.
Someone had to make this. Who could have crafted such a thing?
Make an Arcana check with advantage. Nemo.
Wow. Look at me and my Arcana. Okay, let me get him a stat block. I know that. Let me.
Whoa. Who did you channel just now?
What are you reading?
What are you reading right now?
Whatever you're reading, destroy it!
Either or. Yes.
19.
Great. This, in your hands, as you are looking it over, is an extremely pure and natural form of dust glass.
Like how a clam make a pearl! Sorry.
So, I don't even know what you said.
How Clam make a pearl.
And so, you've learned from your time here in this area of the world that dust glass is extremely receptive and amplifying of magical energy. And then you're also drawing back to a very early conversation that you had with Jacques, where he said that Huskstone and Dustglass come from dragons. And so, as you were seeing that this is a refined version of this dragon heart, amplifying this Dustglass, this is like all of the magic within a dragon distilled into a very powerful and amplifying stone naturally created from this dragon as well.
So could I infer that this essentially naturally crystallized inside a dragon?
Exactly, yes.
Okay. Wait, no. This is too pure. I think this was in the heart all along. I think this came from the heart. No one placed this in the heart. It came from all of the power of a dragon is within this dust glass. Oh.
So dust glass comes from dragons? Is that what we're...
Or at least we have a pearl from the heart of a dragon. We saw a dragon encased in dust glass. Perhaps the magic emanating from the corpse of the dragon we saw previously created a chrysalis of sorts.
My mom was telling me about this a while ago. She was like, when a mommy dragon and a daddy dragon love each other. Is it that?
Probably not.
What? Sex?
Misery doesn't.
What?
Misery doesn't know what sex is.
I was wondering, maybe it's an entirely new element on the fantasy periodic table. Perhaps husk glass?
Husk glass. I'm gonna try to get in it like I get in my husk stone to communicate to people. See if that does anything at all.
Okay. Do
I'm gonna sit down.
Do an Arcana check as well.
I do Arcana. It's only a 9. Yeah, it's a 12.
Okay.
You do have a nat 20 card you could use.
You do have an actual.
Because you talked about skeletons.
We're only 14 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you connect with and commune with the entity within this stone, the embodiment of the stone. You're trying to like Kalishtar vibe with the stone itself. You get to a point where you start to hear this voice within it. It is speaking in Draconic.
Oh my god.
It's speaking in Draconic, and it's very faint and very far away. But can you understand Draconic?
I don't think so. Let's see. I feel like I remember. I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
Okay. Okay, so that's what you expect.
Okay. Can anyone here understand Draconic?
No.
Wait, maybe. I don't think so. But maybe.
I could almost make out some sort of Draconic speaking entity within this. Do we know if Drenton would have spoken Draconic?
Do we?
I don't believe so, no.
No.
Maybe if you attune to it? I guess we should decide who should attune to it.
I
I
can-
feel like Nemo, maybe.
I can speak Celestial.
Sick.
It's like angel language.
No,
It's
I
like the opposite.
know.
Tuli and Nemo, would you both make a history check for me?
I just didn't know if it was like, if it was Drenton. It
Boo.
just kind of sounds draconic. Just thought I'd throw it out.
14.
14. Nemo?
Mine is a 17.
Okay. Yeah, you both have gone to the archive within Populous and kind of read over a little brief bit of some Draconic history. And so, even in your question of like, would Drenton speak Draconic? A brief recap of that would be dragons created by the gods and mostly Valessa were one of the very powerful entities of history here on campus. But then also so was mankind, and so were the humanoids. And so there was the war between the humans and the dragons that happened. And so the dragons were free and independent and not allied with any particular gods. And then you also read over in some history that Drenton kind of weaponized some dragons in the War of the Gods that happened later. And so through his relation or manipulation or whatever, he collaborated with, or at worst, like manipulated some dragons into fighting for him.
I mean, if Drenton used dragons in the war, you would think that he had to be able to communicate with them somehow.
Do I need to... I'm going to say what my theory... Okay. I would imagine that he could probably speak it. I don't believe that was his native tongue. I would be surprised in a primal form if he was speaking it.
Right.
Based on what I know. I would assume maybe it's the spirit of a green dragon. Possibly.
The soul of the dragon this came from, perhaps?
Could be. It seems like people want it, though, right? That seems like
yes.
why Mr. B was coming.
I could imagine that. It was protected by great power and sought by great power. And now we need to get out of here.
Yeah. Speaking of Mr. B.
For I am not well. Side note, I'm not well. I need a rest. Badly.
Agreed. Yeah, I think we should decide who will attune to it as well. Someone who's in tune with nature.
I mean, I could try, especially if there's thought that it could potentially be Drenton speaking. I would be able to understand it because it's celestial, right? Drenton should speak celestial because he's a god.
Yeah, no.
Nice try.
It depends.
You didn't kill it.
The godly realm and language is not purely celestial, and so it's some mix of like sometimes it's common, sometimes it is draconic, sometimes it's like the elven gods that speak Elvish, and so celestial is like more of the like ancient god language, or like maybe even god to god language. And so it might help in some instances of that, but I don't want to get you set up for something that might not be ending up being true. So it's potentially that's the case, but not always.
It takes about 2 hours to attune to something, is that right?
No, you
Or
could do it
longer?
in, I think this item in
short
particular, you
rest.
could do it in one.
Okay.
Which would be a short rest.
I can create a hallucinatory terrain if we want to find a corner or something to post up in if we don't see anywhere that we can maybe retreat to.
Did we, when we came down here, I thought I remembered that there was like this is Rachel to Dan, that there was like a cavern with like a passageway out. Did I
Oh
make
yeah,
that up?
definitely. There's there's one way out of this place.
Okay.
The trail with the root.
Do you guys think we should post up here for a bit, or just try and go up a little way, see if there's some kind of cavern on the way out that we can go off into?
I think we should try to go up some if we think Mr. B and them are going to try to come back to get to this. We should
Alternatively,
take this with us.
if we think we can disguise ourselves well, it could be good to be somewhere where if
We
they
can
did
see
come,
them.
we could see what they're up to in a
And
way
we
that
could
is
slice their
discreet,
faces off.
No.
or just hide from them.
No.
We could hide in the blood.
Could we hear them through the hallucinatory train? Okay.
So, I'd say what Thelen would propose to do is to get everyone kind of down in this corner, not like a well-trafficked area.
Yeah.
Make everything look the exact same, but make our corner look like a rock wall
Yeah, for sure.
that nobody would walk over. So it has 150-foot cubit or cube range.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah, you're able to completely.
we can look, sound, smell, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have any more slots for tiny hut.
Yeah, so move everybody over there so everything else stays the same. I make it look like the battle still happened and whatnot, and just kind of maybe block off like this tunnel and this side so that they wouldn't think that anybody would think they could even go there.
Okay, great. And so within that space, it's dry. You're able to start a short rest, kind of clean up. Most of you, all of you, are like fully covered in bloodroot tree blood.
I guess I'm gonna hand the pearl to Sally.
Okay.
Who's Sally?
Well,
Thank you.
I hand it to Laura.
Okay. And so for taking a short rest, you have hit dice that you can roll to heal up. It is the die that you would use for health. It should be on the top of your page. You can even automatically do it through D&D Beyond for however many you decide. And you can heal for up to your level in hit dice. So I think you're on level 9, 8, 9.
With 9.
So you can use 9 of them in this short rest, but next time you long rest, at the end of this day, you're only going to get 4 back for the next day. So if you short rest the next day, if that makes sense.
Where?
You have
are
9.
dice?
9.
When you hit short rest, you'll
I
get
see.
your choice of how many dice you'd like to use to
with
heal.
your-
You will get 4 on your next long rest. So if you use more than that, you won't have your max on the next day.
So I can use up to 5 is what you're saying.
You can use up to 9. You just know that tomorrow might limit you on how much you could heal from a
We
short
don't get
rest.
any spells back, maybe, do we?
Not you, I don't think.
Some classes do, but you'll get some features back that reset on short rests. While that's being done, Orlith,
Hey.
you attune into that little stone you got there?
Yeah.
Alrighty. As you were holding it and spending some time with it, you stare into it and you can see moments where there seems to even be like a heartbeat within the stone, and you can see veins just kind of ripple around it. And this magical energy just cascades almost like lightning bolts within it. You can see it just crackling across. Even in your hands, you can feel just how powerful this item is. A clearish green sphere, and then these dark, glowing emerald lightning bolts of pulses within it. Occasionally, you can hear a little whisper of like a draconic voice that seems to be repeating the same phrase. And even in that, over this hour, you can tell that it's not conversational. It's not alive. You're not feeling like there's some being within this. It's trying to communicate out. It's like life itself of this creature is potently built within it. And so it's just some type of will to live within it that exists. As a ranger attuning to this, you are going to gain, you have a favored enemy, right? And that is Celestials. You will gain the favored enemy of dragons as well. So everything that is true for you for Celestials also becomes true for dragons.
That's nice.
Wait, then that means I know its language, right?
You would gain Draconic, yeah.
Ah.
That's fantastic. Let me read for you the phrase that you hear this orb kind of saying. Are you ready?
Yeah, sorry, I was just adding it as a favorite enemy. Wait,
Yeah. I
am
don't know
I
if
able
you
to
can
do that?
easily. No. So just like as you look at your favorite enemy for Celestials, just you can
Know that dragons are there too. Okay.
you can hear this voice within it, just very sinister, but very like very whispery as well. Just, oh, mortal, you hold the very essence of my being within your grasp. The heart that once pulsed with the essence of the forests and the swamps. The ancient spirit of the wilds. You hold my power, my life, my dominion over the natural world. Secrets only a dragon should know. Secrets only a dragon should know.
Can I try to talk to it?
Yeah.
Sup, bro?
You up?
ASL. I like. I try to ask it like. I say, "Who are you?"
Mm-hmm. It repeats the phrase back, and so who are you? No, it repeats.
Who are you?
And this seems to just be like the will of this creature to live, animating itself in language, and so it's just repeating that same information that I told you before. That, and so from that you can tell this is not an active living creature within it.
Pre-recorded message.
Can I like get a sense of how to like access the power?
Oh, you're getting it now. I'm gonna read to you now.
Oh, great, cool.
I need to create the item for you so that you can attune to it fully. But as you now attune to the item, you're gonna gain a bunch of stuff. So first is you're gonna be resistant to poison. So poison damage, and you also have an advantage on any saving throws against being poisoned.
Nice.
By the time we play next time, I'll have this added, so you don't need to like chart all of this. There's an ability called Nature's Insight. So while you're attuned to this, you have proficiency in the nature skill. If you already have proficiency in the nature skill, you're going to gain expertise, so you'll double your proficiency in nature. You have an ability called Green Draconic Resilience. You will have advantage on saving throws against poison and the poison condition. In addition, you're immune to the effects of a green dragon's poison's breath weapon. So if you ever were to fight a green dragon, that breath is not going to do anything to you. Three more abilities, sorry. Breath of the Forest. You can cause small bouquets of flowers to grow from fertile earth at will.
Oh.
And then once per long rest, you can use the stone to cast a spell called Plant Growth as a 4th level spell without any spell slot.
Ooh.
There's an ability called Heart of the Dragon. As an action, you can channel the energy of the dragon stone to heal yourself and another creature, and it'll be for 4d6 hit points.
Wow.
And you can use that once per long rest.
Okay.
And then lastly, Detect Dragons. You can sense the presence of dragons within 1 mile of you, though you cannot discern their exact location.
How does that interact with my
Primordial sense.
Demon
Yeah.
thing.
This would just be an active thing always, so you wouldn't have to tell me. It'll be on me to kind of remember as well that like.
So I don't have to use a spell slot to do it.
Right.
And I can pinpoint that it's specifically dragons because my primeval awareness is.
Yes, you would know it's a dragon, and you would know it's within 1 mile.
Got it. Got it. Sick.
Yeah, so you like as you're attuning to the stone, like all of this information and all these abilities just kind of flood into you at once.
Yeah. I can see smells now. Cool. Great.
Is there a way that we can try and long rest and see if anybody comes, or no? Do we not have time for that?
Yeah, no, you could chill here for 8 hours. Continue this, pushing on.
What do y'all think? How are y'all's?
I thought we were long resting to begin with, so.
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh,
Rest.
silly man.
Really?
Whoops. Yeah.
You don't think so?
I mean, we're just gonna chill here and rest up until post up and.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I thought we were trying to leave because Mr. B, but
Well, we're hiding to see if they come by. We're
we
in
can't do that
surveillance.
if we're long rest. We'd be asleep.
We have
Some
to
people
set
would be
We
guard.
can have someone on watch. Because
Fair.
I only need 4 hours of sleep.
Fair.
To be honest, though,
We can't see
you
through
all
your dream.
woke up in the
But we can
mausoleum,
hear it.
went into the citadel, and attacked the roots to get here. You have been awake for 1 hour, 2 hours. 2 hours.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah. So short rest is appropriate. If you wanted to stay here for an extended period of time, how long does your illusion last?
Let's see.
That's important.
24 hours.
Okay, so you could make the deliberate decision to sit here for about 8 hours awake and then another 8 hours to sleep. But you'd have to be like naturally awake. You can't force yourself to sleep 18 hours to heal again.
I see.
Or gain spell slots. Like we'd have to do the full day and night to.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 hour.
Well,
I just hit the touchpad and I hit wait for 24 hours. What are you talking about?
Then let's go.
Time for second breakfast, I guess.
okay.
We
Second
did
breakfast.
blow straight past 11
Right.
though. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you so many spell slots?
That's what I'm saying.
It was a pretty big fight.
Yeah.
Well, do we want to stay and see if they come, or do we want to head out?
I vote for staying.
And doing what?
I will
Seeing
say
if they
Playing
in
games.
the last hour, because that was the short rest that you all did take. There's been no movement. There's been no approach or additional spell to bring them here.
Listen, you may
wait,
not know
okay.
this, but people try to find what we do interesting, and sitting here.
Yeah.
What people, Lorla?
What are you talking about?
The people.
I mean, if we long rested, we would fast forward to the other end of the long rest unless something did happen.
Nope. Well, yeah, but we would have to do 8 hours and then another 8 hours.
And Gwendolyn promised Treya that y'all would be up in 3 business days. 3
Oh,
to 4
no,
5
yeah.
I
business
promise.
Whoops,
I gave
we
an
gotta go.
estimate.
days. That's right.
That's true. And Chris
believe I
and
said
Jock are
3
just
to 5
floating out.
minutes.
I said
Yeah.
that.
Chris and Jock.
Chris is just
Show me
defending
what it
Okay,
goes
short rest
like.
it is. We hang out. They didn't come, and then we leave.
At the end of the short rest, if you use any hit dice, you get another D8 because I played a song.
Huzzah.
Wow.
Sign up me within the step.
Oh,
I'm already at max.
Wow.
This is a quiet song.
I already know.
sick.
How embarrassing.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
so
I thought that was
sorry.
your cup.
I'm so sorry.
Thanks, Misery. I got
Well,
you full health.
Shall we?
Get out of here.
What song did you sing?
That one.
Oh.
So he slushes
Everybody.
towards the exit.
All right, where are we
Good
heading?
lord.
As you begin to then navigate some of the caverns and are trying to navigate your way back,
But first,
is your intuition and intention to go to the surface, or is your intuition to go back into the city? Where are we going?
I cannot leave Remy behind. I must say that before we get too far out of here.
We should pick up Chris and Jacques also.
and don't we need to do something else down here? Did we do it? Was us killing the tree like accomplishing our task?
Did we do
Yes.
Well, I vote we swing by, get Chris and Jacques, and then go get Remy. There was Remy's prophecy that said to find the keys to our salvation, for there sleeps a heart of a dragon. So I'm guessing that's what you found.
And that's the
maybe,
key.
Maybe.
We did
I don't know.
obliterate the heart of the dragon.
We did. So it can't be resurrected, hopefully.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
whatever this is, it's the key to either waking Drenton or locking him away.
Well, I know where dragons are now, and also I can
That's pretty sweet.
speak Draconic, so...
Wow.
Basically a dragon.
Where are they?
Are there any dragons around?
Nope.
But that would be wild.
Not here.
Since it's like
Six
guys,
of them
I have
pop
some
up on the
terrible
radar.
news.
Bad news,
Six
everyone.
dragons.
Not here
On the other
is
side of
where
the
they are. We're safe for now. I'll let you know if it changes. But yeah, I'm down with that of going, well, let's get Chris and Jacques and then let's head to Mr. B so we can try to see if we can get some alone time with Remy to talk to her, or you could at least try to mind link with her or something.
We might need to be cautious in our approach because they did see us down there. They may know that we have the item, whatever it is.
Weird.
So we might want to think about keeping it away from them if we can. I don't know. Let's go get Chris and Jacques.
Keep it in your skull.
In my skull?
Should we go back
My
up the
brain.
tunnels that we came down? Might take like an hour since we're walking and going uphill.
Well, we have should we do that or should we go to this tunnel over here?
We just don't know where that tunnel goes, do we?
That's true.
But we can follow it.
I would guess it goes back up to the Citadel.
That is a guess.
That's a guess.
Do we need to vote?
It could be a really long one. Or a really short one.
I vote
The
we try
options
the tunnel.
are limitless, really.
Yeah, let's follow the
So
exit.
up at the top of this chamber is the holes that y'all fell out of from the roots, which you would know is a direct route, but it's up there, and I don't know if y'all have the ability to go up and do that. There's the one tunnel out that then would lead to a series of decisions and pathways that you would then have to use your intuition to try to travel through to get back to the Citadel area, which is where your intention is. And so we will do some skill checks for that, if that is the way that you all proceed.
Yeah.
Seems like it.
All right.
And that's the only way.
All right. Could I get either two different people to make a survival check or one person to do a survival check with advantage?
I'm not good.
Mine's plus
I
I'm a
think.
city girl.
Are we in a
You
dungeon?
too.
Sure.
I'm a dungeon delver.
It's like a weird mix. That gives you like advantage for traps and things
Yeah.
like that, not for survival checks like this.
Oh yeah. This is
That one's
perception and
+9.
What's your
investigation.
survival at?
My survival is
I took a couple classes online.
really cool. My survival's +7.
Yeah, mine's 9.
Dylan's got a Google certificate.
What's the point of having plus?
Should I
5 in
roll with
something
advantage or?
when it's
That makes
Wait,
more
but two of us
mathematical
need to
sense.
do it? What
One
did
with advantage or two separate.
I think it makes
Oh.
more mathematical
You
sense.
have
Do it,
advantage?
guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
But you never have to slay a dragon with
Oh,
guitar.
that's not it. That was a 5. That was a 10. So 19.
Okay. For the next 2 hours, as you all navigate the caverns,
Oof.
you all meander through and get to a point where there's like a kind of like where you all saw where you turned into a bat and you spied on some of your enemies. You're on this bridge that's overlooking the city, and it's a distance away, but you can see the city itself. And it's maybe 500 or 600 feet away from this current vantage point. And then you can see just through, if you continue on for another hour or two, if all things go well again, that you would be back at the city. So you're on the right path. We can do another survival check if you want to just do the Stellan again. We can do that.
Yep. Right?
You're leading so well.
Keep going. Thanks.
Steady as
I
she
got a
goes.
good nose. 24.
Okay. Even with that high, as you then emerge from a long, dark cavern that perhaps we don't need to go through like the mushroom thing again, or torches or whatever, some form of light source to get you all through safely. You get to a
Easier.
point where you're about to emerge out, and more dim light is ahead of you from the city. You can see two figures sitting beside a rock, kind of off to the side. Sitting in its shade, seemingly trying to avoid being detected, but you rolled really high on your survival and kind of wrapping that into some perception. And as you look ahead, you can see Chris and Jacques sitting off to the side on the shore up ahead. You can see their boat on the side of the river, and you have entered back towards the city in a different direction, but near them. They haven't noticed you yet, but you see them from a distance away.
Opportunity attack.
Haha.
They don't look like they're asleep or anything.
Mm-mm.
They're aware.
Yeah, they're both just like kind of talking to each other from a bit away.
Looks like there's our friends.
You guys send Wolfie up.
What are they saying? Oh yeah, I guess we could send them. Go, boy.
We walk towards them.
Yeah.
Chris just kind of like bolts up, and you can see Jacques' back as he is sitting around a very, very low, small fire. It's pretty much just embers that they were using to kind of stay warm and have a very rough camp set up here. Chris just jumps up. It's been
1 week since you looked at
I've
me.
been like so much longer than we thought you were going to be. And then he runs over, kind of pushes past Thelen and pushes past those that are at the front, and kind of just grabs Gwendolyn in this giant hug.
Oh.
How you doing, kid?
Hey,
You okay?
you're
You
all.
safe?
And then he kind of pushes off from you and looks back. You all made it back. You're all okay. What happened? What did you do?
Well,
So much, Chris.
yes, we did find the heart of the dragon
So
that we've heard rumors of, and we did destroy it. And inside, Jacques, you'll find this quite interesting. And then I gesture for Laura
You're just gonna tell him?
to show him the dust glass
Guess so.
pearl.
Oh my.
This
And
came from the dragon.
he stands up, walks over to you, and just takes up the stone, and he pulls out like a little jeweler's lens out from one of his satchels, and just holds it up, and then kind of gets frustrated for a second, and then lights up some flint on the ember torch, and on the ember pile where their small fire was, and then he lights up a torch, sets that up, gets some light, and he's just off staring at that. Give me just a moment on this, please.
By all means, we have all the time in the world.
I'm not gonna stop looking at you though.
Aww.
And then he just gets back to the stone.
Just
Out of
berating him.
distrust, guys. Out of distrust.
I knew what you meant.
And then Misery's just like,
I can't take my eyes off you.
what are you doing?
You're so smart.
Chris's eyes kind of go off to the ground, and you hear him kind of silent to himself, just goes, "Oh, okay." And then he goes and kind of sits down by the camp, and you can see him lay his back against the rock again. He's just kind of staring down at the embers. Jock staring over the stone. Did one of you enchant this? And then he puts his eyes towards Thule. This is very powerful.
Sure didn't, man.
Naturally magical.
It was born this way.
In the heart of the dragon.
It woke up like this.
This is from the dragon itself.
Inside. Like how a clam do with a pearl.
Like how a clam do.
Yes, we
Hope
found
Clam
it
is
in the heart of a green dragon.
This is the actual source of my life's work.
What?
Dust glass.
Whoa.
Here. This is where it all came from.
Well, you can't have it.
By all means, and he puts his hands back to hand it over to you.
Well,
Thank you.
hold on. Oh, hold on. You can still study it.
I mean, I've seen.
I'm done.
Give it back.
I've seen.
Guys.
I see the power that is within this, and there is nothing I could add or gain from more time with this, though you all seem to be the people who need its power most in the work that you are doing here. Why would I take that for myself?
You're alright, Jock. Unless you're lying.
Misery, I approve.
Insight
Unless
check?
you're lying.
Insight check.
Go for it. Instant nat 20. Give it to me.
He's Mr. B.
It's a 7. See, tell
Got
you
Your insight into what he's doing right
Such
now
as it is.
is that he's fanboying over you all.
Aw.
Cool.
Well, boys, before we head to the surface, we do have to fight potentially a different ancient power that is influencing Remy and our old traveling companions.
We're not out of here yet. Jock still.
No, you're more than welcome to leave. but I wouldn't recommend it.
But you could have done that a long time ago.
Right,
No,
I
no.
wouldn't recommend it.
You are my safe path to the surface.
Indeed, and I regret that we must linger, but I did. Essentially, my main goal in getting here was to find and rescue my fellow Kalishtar, Rimowin, Remy for short. We have found her. It seems like she's in with a bad crowd. And along the way, we discovered that our old traveling companion Cicero is probably hoodwinked by the same foul presence. So, we gotta do something about that before we leave.
What lingers down here?
Something big and purple and spooky.
A liar.
Spooky.
It seems as though, like Nemo said, this group is somehow creating weapons for a war effort, is what we have learned.
Under one of the houses?
Do we know that? I can't remember.
Is there any sort of law here in the world of Dust Forge, of some sort
God.
of some sort of presence that is ethereal and purple in nature?
Your question, go ahead and roll a history check.
Okay.
I guess you're a history check too. Oh, you're asking Jacques that. So
I'm
Jacques
right.
is going to make a history check
Yeah.
inside of Dan.
yeah.
Go ahead and tell me yours.
10.
10. You know for sure you haven't. You know for sure you don't know that. That Mr. B and this whole crew you have not heard of, seen, or any type of attachment when it comes to the Dust Forge politics. That they're either unaligned or very cryptic about whatever type of alliance they'd be working with.
I'll say I don't know about that, but boy, have we got some other information for you after. I'll let you finish what you're talking about.
I have not heard of a being or a force like this in any of the tales of those families that once lived down here. I have not heard anything from them.
Well, hold on to your britches, Jacques, because
Tell them what they just won.
you won a war for the annihilation of your species.
I'd like to swap that for door number 3.
That's also that.
They're all the same.
All lead the same place.
A war that breaches the surface as a whole.
We have learned that the houses are at war with one another. They're trying to wipe each other out. And their method to do that is to partner with the Plane of Apori to harness the Chained One, Drenton.
Drenton's vengeance has led him this far that he would wipe out all of Canvas.
Knowing him, yes. I don't think that's the intention of the houses. They just want to use him for an edge. But he is chaos itself, and unleashing him, at the very least, puts all of Canvas in danger.
I've been so absorbed by the politics of Dust Forge that I never would have imagined it reached beyond the caves, that there, be it historical and deep roots of pain, though petty in their actions, they're working with a being that has his eyes set on something much greater than Dust Forge.
Seems that way, boss. Sorry.
No, that's
That way,
truly. Yeah. Do you know of a timeline or a target? What strength does Drenton have to offer now? What is the context here?
Their hope is to, as far as we know, their hope is to raise the Plane of Apori, and for all the denizens of Apori to pour out over the land of Canvas at Drenton's behalf.
Yes.
I would imagine that this would involve freeing Drenton as well. Something to do with the dragons, perhaps bringing them back. We don't really know. Also, Lilith is dead. But anyway.
And I'm personally still a little murky on how the dragon came into that, but it does seem like, however the dragon was involved, we dealt them a blow by destroying its heart.
We know from the prophecy of the chain, they said that something to do with dragons would somehow be associated with Drenton. So I would imagine it's involved in this plot to raise Apori, and I think Drenton wants to use them for power, would be my guess. Nemo's right, we don't know.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask a very leading question real quick.
Oh, man.
Misery. You overheard a conversation between Lilith, Jacques, and
Yes.
East Cove dude.
Does Jacques know this?
Zengen.
Zengen.
Thank you. I was getting confused with the other one.
He would have said something.
No.
And so from that, if I prompt that, is there anything that you would want to add?
Oh my gosh!
Look at the note.
Dang!
Her family.
How do you spell Zingen?
Oh,
ZH.
God.
Well, it's been spelled many
Sorry,
different
sorry.
ways.
I don't know if I'm gonna find it quick enough, but I'll try.
She
Many
was down
times,
there
many
to
ways,
get her
Mary
whole family.
Zengen.
Start with Z.
If nothing immediately
and
comes to
then
mind,
Z,
Jacques is
B,
going to speak
and
up,
then
but I
Z,
just didn't
C.
know if you were holding or sitting back
Misery
on
eavesdrops
anything.
on the group while they're watching.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Okay.
No, okay, then Jacques will speak up and hit from his perspective. And he will say, Lilith has alluded to some work on developing a power and a weapon to both subdue the South Coves, but also to secure a new power for the sake of the city. Does not take much of an imagination to know that this dragon entity that you all have been able to stop and cut down was some source of power that she was hoping to have access to. I have gained some information about the South Coves as well, that their aspirations were the exact same, and that these two families were fighting over who would get to this power first. If they were to then pledge that power over to Drenton as a weapon in his war, as these pieces have come together from what you were adding to this as well, that seems to be what was at play. And while the West Cove matriarch has fallen.
Yeah. Weird.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, weird.
We found her like that.
She woke up like that. Right.
Make a deception check.
She didn't go. No. I'm joking. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean, I'll say it.
Yeah. Yes, we killed her.
Yes.
Provoked.
Yes, it's
Woe is
exactly
me.
what you thought. So sorry.
We found her like that. Haha, just kidding. We killed her.
It was self-defense. She was attacked us in the process of some
right.
kind of ritual that we assume was
That part's
part
true.
of trying to raise this power.
That part. What part was untrue?
Oh, I guess the rest of it was true.
She's definitely dead.
That is the consequences of actions chosen by Lilith. That leaves
Misery until we both go.
that leaves the South Coves and the East Coves as living families within this contention. Obviously matters beyond your interest or scope at this point. What loyalties do you have left? What do you intend to do with the information that you have?
My loyalties to the Republic, to democracy.
Don't make me kill you. It seems like we got to deal with whatever else is going down here with Mr. B and company.
I would agree.
Would you describe in better detail than Purple Entity, what is this weapon? What is this thing, this creature?
I know that they were studying it. I know that the Kalishtar, my companion Rini, she seems to be very wary of its power. And as I understand it from what Tuli described, they almost came through a portal to get the dragon heart, and this purple creature was controlling or at least connected to the others with tendrils of some sort. It seems like some malevolent, powerful, psychic creature that I worry has more influence over them than they realize.
Truly not.
That is troubling. Yes, seems to be something worth investigating. And you are doing that soon, then? You wish to do that?
I am eager to get Rini away from those people and that creature.
I'd say our second biggest concern is making sure to not bring them the dragon heart that we just found. Especially when we're not necessarily prepared for a big fight.
We should likely not give them the thing they were coming after. That's an excellent point.
That's really insightful, though.
So whether I don't know if we would trust hiding it or if
Put it under that rock.
what our plan might be, but I think in the current state we're in, we wouldn't be able to defend it too well.
Agreed.
Speak for yourself.
How far is Remy Sister's cave, Mr. B's cave, from where we are?
You're back at the city at the river right now. You could get there 15 minutes, 10 minutes.
Oh, very close. But they could hear us.
I roll for hiding.
You don't.
I'm the best.
Glenn, what do you think? Should we go straight to the cave? Should we rest?
One, I shouldn't decide the whole thing, but I was just thinking quite a predicament. Actually, sorry, I've been waiting. Gwen wasn't listening to any of that as soon as, so no.
Gwen is like,
Gwen doesn't.
Wait,
yeah.
Gwen, where are
As
you?
soon as Chris started feeling dejected and left out, there just wasn't a good time for me to say it. Gwen was gonna go over and be like, "You've been keeping up with your routines. You've been practicing, and just check in on him and ask him how his reps have been going and what he's been working on." And I've just been engaging with him the whole time. So I actually haven't heard.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to avoid the question.
Julie says this to the air, and then is like, "Where's Gwen?" Cut to Gwen.
Yeah.
And she and Chris are sparring.
No, he's sitting down. And he was like, kind of pull your voice and kind of asking him these questions, pull him out of a long stare into the embers.
I went over pretty quickly, but
yeah, it's still, he seems very in his head, and distant. Jacques is weak and unhelpful, but I.
Puny small man.
yeah.
And then he kind of gestures over, and you can see this this rock that's pretty spherical, but still some rough edges. It looks like it maybe weighs maybe 30 or 40 pounds. He said, I picked that up and set it back down a bunch.
I picked it up and I put it down.
Still feeling kind of sore from that.
Yeah. No, that's very resourceful, bud. I like that. Listen, there's no need for fancy,
She likes that.
equipment or some of these, I don't know, pubs will also try to charge a membership fee because they got big rocks in the back.
I would never
There's
do that.
no need, right? You get it. You just gotta look to nature, bro.
Yeah. And you can tell that he does look very sad. Just
Yeah.
he has a deep kind of unsureness to him, and he's just in the middle of sorting some stuff out.
Don't ask about it. Don't you dare ask about
Chris, sometimes the loneliest times are when the most about ourselves might come to light.
Aw.
Come on.
Even when in a cave and it's dark.
Okay.
Okay.
Period.
And he walks 4 steps away, kind of over towards where he was sitting earlier, and just kind of sits back again and Looks like he's kind of disengaged from your conversation.
I huff real big and walk back over to him and say, so, as I was saying, I think what I have seen about you in a time of loneliness with, Jacques' pretty weak. We won't tell him, but do our best to protect him. I've seen that you are very resourceful. You are very resilient to keep trying instead of giving up when it was longer than we planned, like you said. And, you pay attention to your surroundings. That's a good rock that you picked. You could have picked one that was too heavy or too light.
Why'd you kill the tree?
Oh. Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Oh.
Why didn't you?
Oh.
Oh, well, I didn't specifically kill it. That was someone else, but, it was attacking us quite violently. Yeah.
Someone else.
Quite violently.
Can we all hear this, or is this happening off in the corner?
This is like simultaneous with your conversation with Jacques.
Oh.
But this you did hear, like in the middle of your conversation with Jacques, you did hear Chris like kind of just bolt out. Why'd you kill the tree? And you can tell that he's having a tense conversation with Gwendolyn, but you're still talking about the stone and the family politics and all that stuff too. Cool.
Yeah, there has been... Wait, how long have we all been together?
That's a group.
The
4
whole
days.
Group, like, even back to Cicero beginning.
I think we're
A couple months at this point.
Like,
6 months?
anywhere between like 4 to 8 weeks.
right.
2 months.
2.5 years.
300 years.
There have been
6 months.
a lot of situations I've walked away from wondering why things and people had to die when that wasn't the plan walking in. So that's a fair question. In the last 6 to 8 weeks, that things have been going on.
We met this morning.
Great. Okay. Well, I guess I'm just also suffering from the casualty of that now. I guess you understand.
I do. And I'm sorry. It's been so... Yeah, I haven't even really thought about the long-term impacts of that or had time to process what that or any of this all even means. It's kind of been, for lack of a better term, survival mode. Yeah. I want to say maybe it'll sprout back, but also it did try to kill us too, so I'm not sure if I want it to grow back or not, but it is still sad when something dies. When something perishes.
You can tell that he is shifting from being very in the moment to a little more reflective, and he's just thinking back through some memories. I know you get it. I don't think you would have done this to me on purpose. My family, my father, brought us here and created our living here off of that tree. Your family did the same, right?
Yeah.
You moved
It's a
and
different tree.
worked for a brewery of some sort.
Winery. But that's the thing, Chris. I don't know, and we can talk about this later, but I'm not so sure that Dustforge is a safe place for you anymore, long term. And that is not to dismiss. That is not to dismiss your tree grief. She says that very seriously. She doesn't like. She says it with a lot of empathy.
No air quotes.
No air quotes for tree grief. But separately, I am not sure it's safe for you and your mom anymore. But we can talk about that later.
Look, I've been watching you and how you interact with this group of people. You've picked your people. You've kept them safe. And then he stands up from where he's sitting. I will do the same. Dustforge is my people, and if I'm going to persist in anything, you all have taught me to fight well, and to protect what is mine. And so, well, if it's all that I have left, that is what I will do.
To stay?
Yes, to stay in our home, what we have left here, and whatever remains afterwards.
Okay, well that's mighty admirable, and we're gonna find you some bigger rocks.
Hopefully. And he does kind of chuckle, and he sits back down as his muscles relax, and he kind of loses the tension of even what he was saying, and he seems a little surprised by what he even just said, too, and is back to a little contemplative thinking after that exchange.
I'll just sit with him quietly after that.
Politics, am I right? Jacques then slaps his knee and...
That was great.
Takes 3 bludgeoning damage.
From slapping
Because
his
he's so
knee?
weak.
Because he's so weak but so strong at the same time.
Politics. Ugh.
So, how... You mentioned that you were not in the position to currently rescue Remy from this situation. I can tell by looking at you that
Okay.
that you've climbed a rope or two and are mighty tired.
Oh,
Yeah.
this
You
guy.
have
Ropes I
no
can handle.
idea.
Ladders? Oh.
That was at least 3 months ago.
What was that, July? I mean, Fantasy July?
How much longer are we to stay here?
Well, we're supposed to be back up at the surface in,
Sunday?
in 3 business days, so...
Perhaps this is one of the more foolish things I've said. Does it make any sense for us to become 2 parties?
No.
Foolish.
Foolish. Boo, foolish.
What would that accomplish?
We could go up to the surface, half of us, and then whoever wants to join me could go and help Remy.
What do the people going to the surface do?
Protect the heart.
Protect the heart, go get what's ahead, and
Ugh.
perhaps we could get reinforcements even?
Treya?
I don't know.
But it takes so long to get to the surface.
True.
Like, it's not...
I'll
really
hold them off for
accomplish
several
anything.
weeks.
We'll never be able to reunite.
Oh no, it's the end of this campaign. I mean, this journey as we know it. No, but I have a real thought. Chris, you've been tossing lots of rocks, and you want to protect the city. I think the best way that you could protect the city is by taking Jacques and going back up. I think you could do it. I believe in you. I think you could do it on your own to get back up with Jacques. But listen, Jacques, you gotta help him some.
You gotta get strong.
Not
You
just
gotta be
like strong. You gotta
Yeah.
be. You gotta do stuff. He sat out of every single battle.
It's a really encouraging way of saying go away.
No, not in that kind of way. Just in a like, you miss your mom and you want to defend the city, and I think you can do that best.
Okay.
Right.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't love that, but I don't know how Glenn feels about it.
Why? Oh, no one likes it.
Mm.
It's okay, it's not good.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Maybe he's easily
7.
swayed.
Maybe he's easily pursed.
5.
He doesn't look too encouraged by what you said, and as he's sitting by the
Okay.
embers and hearing what you were trying to encourage him to do, he looks over towards Jacques, but then looks over at himself as well, and then his eyes just kind of go up towards all of you as you are now joined into one conversation, no longer split. That's a couple days, and
I know that would have been a waste, though.
I couldn't, if anything happens to me while I was down here, I don't I don't know what would be left of the business, or I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that to my mother. I want to be making the safest choice, and I will go up with you all.
I thought he was gonna say I couldn't live with myself if I did that.
If I died.
I was gonna be like, well, yeah,
Okay.
It's not funny.
Tuli's gonna say, okay. Here's what I say. Our 3-day timeline is to go up is based on our contract with Treya. And she kind of like gags a little bit. Yeah. And she says, Treya's contract, the fate of the world. I vote we hole up and rest and then in the morning, go, maybe a few of us stay like 50 feet back with the stone, ready to be reinforcement if needed, and the rest of us try to sneak closer, learn what we can, get Remy and get out. Maybe defeat, if we can have a signal if we need help to fight this monster thing. We can improvise on the fly. That's what I say we should do.
That
Do you
sounds
guys
like
want to vote?
a good idea.
Do we have any means of sending a magical message to Treya to update her, or are we flying dark down here?
You can respond to
We're looking
Treya when
fun.
she initiates.
Right, yeah. Didn't she told me she would check back again the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Who's with Chris? His name's Jacques?
Yeah.
I don't know why I just literally... Jacques.
Who is this weak guy?
Do you think somehow you could make a fake dragon's heart like this one that we could use as a decoy to
Like an actual
an
heart.
untrained eye from a distance that's not investigating? That
In this timeline, and by that I mean not in this reality, within a night. If I went now, there was some dust glass around that skeleton of the dragon. If I got some, let me see that again for a moment, and then he just looks it over. If everything goes perfectly to plan, maybe, yes, I think I could.
Should we go rest there and have him make that as a decoy and the potential opportunity that they try and...
I suppose so, but
Take
are
them
we
out.
afraid that the druids that we're worshipping...
We killed them all, didn't we?
We don't think there's more? There's always more. Listen, Thon, I know you haven't been a part of our party for very long, but there's always more.
There's always more.
I mean, create another illusion.
Felon, make a nature check with advantage.
I'm not of high intelligence, but I would assume that whoever is tracking it is using some sort of magical means. I don't know if
Why
a
do we-
visual decoy.
Why do we think someone's tracking it?
I don't know. I mean, people want it, right?
Yeah, but I
Just
don't know that
when
Do
you
they
said
know
anyone's
what it
gonna
looks
track
like?
it.
We didn't even know what it looks like.
I could maybe cast some sort of spell on it to give it some kind of
16?
Scent.
aura.
From seeing the druids that died when the guardian died, and then also seeing the tree die, and with your particular affinity and connection with both the druidic and these types of like nature beings as a whole, you feel pretty confident that any druids that would have been here are de-animated. That their spirit, life, etc., all of that fell apart when the tree died.
They're all live action now.
Either way, we need to find somewhere safe to rest, and we still have... I look up to see the sun and remember it's not there.
My tan is
Probably,
gone.
12 hours until we could actually do a long rest?
Oh, no. I mean, even from just the 4 to 5 hours of travel through the tunnels and everything, just a couple more hours of hanging out, getting over to that area where you want to rest, all of that, you'd be well exhausted enough to rest again. Now that y'all put a lot of significant effort and energy into the day. So just a couple more hours.
We hadn't before?
In an hour?
We could let Thule talk to all of us for a long time. That would exhaust us.
Whoa.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
I don't know what I feel with that one.
Targeted.
I think since that's back in the tunnels, it could give us. I believe there was only like 2 entryways into that room. Feels like a safe place that we know, and then who knows if making the dust glass stone could at least save us some time or distract somebody or something. But it's up to the party where we would like to rest.
I think that the dragon corpse is a good place to rest, particularly since we're pursuing the idea of a decoy. I don't think anywhere down here is going to be particularly safe.
Yeah.
Hey, Glenn, can you write down Dragon Corpse?
Yes.
Bannon called it.
Fist into blood, dragon corpse. Okay, great. So then y'all will meander there, do the long rest, and we'll prep overnight for that.
Doopy dorpy doop.
Great.
Doop doop.
Y'all accomplished a ton in this day when it comes to Lilith and Zoloth and the travel and the heart and all of that also unfolded for the sake of the story. You're going to level up to 10.
Yeah, we are.
Hey!
Wow.
Half of the story, you've done a dungeon, you've killed half a dragon, you're level 10. So we've done half of Dungeons and Dragons.